Isaac. Like ko press for press statement lo for press. Ko press statement la ka bon nang kamako. La nyindo gel man kende a mari be karanal. Abu moro ndol buka bori ndol la da minang kola fo. But let me know if you can hear me. I'll just quickly get on with this. You know, tanga fali kono nga fo nyami wala nal finde dale mi fo do nga finde nga dan la mi be kering ndol man time so to ka wuli ala mo kam mun dali mun nafa la fon so to la woto you know mun nafa la fon bentalo mom mol min fon long e ke je silo ka wonyama nga na hajo betu je mom fen so do min kera kana si jan ka fo le ko you know yalon ale kule ke mimi yalon ko you know e to ma ke fere mon benda bula la fon ala nyina man kende. But let's get into the conversation. So, you know, manika kama tulajira because, you know, dolbe kone manika kama yandong safaro ke ni angale kamala mbela safaro jabela ni angale kamala ni betara kukeling de mang I you know mang ane joya so moro de ubende na fala mona fona tani boy tani ni ndongol faratal de boy dunia kay na fala wala bara to nyaawe fongo sabaten ndi. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's good to be back here and have this conversation with you. Yesterday, I really appeared very differently, and today I could just smile about it, and life goes on, you know. So, yesterday I came over here, and I made mention that there were a couple of people sitting in a group at, you know, both, you know, Carabao Station and as well at Kutu Station. You know, really talking ill of Kemo Fati, you know, Saibo, and of course, Aliuba. You know, and among them were people that call themselves, you know, whatever group, even though they did not mention my name specifically in their press statement. I would give them that benefit and also not to mention their name. But explicitly, it was that group and people within that group who were present within that, you know, group of people who were talking ill of these personalities that were actually incarcerated. While they pretend to be at that police station to actually help these same people, they were at the same time talking ill of these people. It's just like, you know, worshiping God on Sunday and of course being with the devil on Monday. Now, that attitude is what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with personalities and individuals and what they do. That's not my business. Some of these people, I don't even know them. The ones that I know, you know, luma se hak nyom moine, you know, respect odorone nenen tatambiran den woltema. But tilimbaliani o tilinangata nila ko moro mo tante nyumbankode. Anu mota taja ita fenjaila mulkanja mimansodo. And that's the fact. But let's go to the specifics of the praiser. And we will just give you just few pointers so you understand the context. Go. They wrote a press statement, and in the press statement, they did say that everything that I alleged and another person, like it was I and Carafa that actually came out to say that. And Carafa was present on the ground when they were talking this shit. And he came out and spoke about it. Right? I equally came out and spoke about the same thing because we have our people on the ground. And then, you know, that is one thing you got to understand. We work with Kemo closely, and we will not watch the dude get to this point and then we all chicken out. Just like some of you were trying to actually make him your sacrificial lamb. And we got to step up and make sure that people understand that we're not here to play and that we're not here to please nobody. Now, you cannot in any way deny the fact that you were there and speaking ill of the young man. You cannot deny that. Any attempt to deny that will basically, you know, tantamount to being dishonest to oneself and, of course, lying to the public because people were present. Now, why did I say this is exactly what happened? It happened in the presence of our own people, right? So it happened in the presence of our own people who were right there while they were speaking. Now, to confirm that, after I spoke about it, this morning, they went to confront that person to say, I'm problem visa, but we don't go out to the public to talk about it. So you know that what you said was heard. And of course, the people were there who can confirm it. So if you did not say anything, why would you go out to confront somebody? The fact of the matter is that when I spoke about it, I did not even say this person told me. Evidently, you know that I am not on the ground, but of course, we got people all over. So if those people did mention that this is what happened, why would you, who'd never said anything, will confront those people? So confronting them, it's confirming to the fact that you did speak ill of these people in their presence. That is just common sense. So to come out to attempt to say, oh, we did not say anything, we are not going into a back and forth with some people on the media. Meanwhile, Yusuf Taylor, who said he is not going on a forth and back with me, is writing longest paragraphs in my Facebook wall. You see how ironical, hypocritical these folks can be. Because the fact of the matter is that you said you are not, in your press statement, you said everything we said wasn't true, and then you are not going into a forward and back on the internet with us, but go to my Facebook wall, you are writing the longest paragraphs on it. So why are you contradicting your own written praise, sir? Young man, you know, dunia ika for the tembo minto, huh? You, na wear wala na nyul. But don't be Father Christmas acting all holy and solely when in reality you are just not that. And you know, some of us don't care about calling you out because we call you out for the right reason. We have nothing against you as a person, but we have everything against that attitude. So you cannot tell me that, oh yeah, we're not going to get into a forward and back with them. Meanwhile, you are writing the longest paragraphs on my wall. And that is one thing I want to respond to you on. Because everything that you write on my wall, I'm going to learn, I don't know. How do I do? I don't say I don't do bad or I'm like a saint or whatever. Why man soy am tarfatal ay ni pour wax ko si man. Na don lu leer. Na don lu leer. Because ngalo ne ko fondinke kunda nimbanko kam mimbe sila ko karning wala karle nyim fomma wala karle nyinkenna. Moron tente o motit. But if we come out, we trash it out. If we make peace, we make peace, we move on. Ko muntana na winda kampu me way. Ande malin. Unda buka kinjako undika tonyeri nyamaja ubarari bana undika lentu barari. Nyanga kawanya antu chakwe. Kakora ugulu maja mbimbuka tibulam bijinta kika nyani ke potari tumundui. Aja mdoko imkaye puru wakibanu nupintandi nyani meko meti na ponisi ne ponike tefri police ko lentu ko ne lentu ime uko chitu chara ujaka ko ndawotanura. Onda kar ndawotanura jake faaw ne lentu barare ti unkaye puchiri jaka tawlar ngutuwe jaka tawlar karanya tebutikiyati. So the fact is that these kind of people went out there, you pretend to be helping these young people, yet you went there to say they want to steal our soul, you know, it's uncoordinated. It is only coordinated when it is led by you. What was coordinated about your Pura protest? Oh yeah, they shouldn't have done this because the matter is before the court. That matter was not before the court when these people went there to actually defend the constitution of the Gambia, to deny the police from trying to deliberately get this guy out of his office. At that point, there was nothing like a court proceeding. So at that point, there was no court proceeding that you are saying, oh, the matter is before the court. So Jaru Tondugana figure Lolo do dega. Now, if you tell me that you are not going to, act cheeky about something that is not coordinated, and of course, it's not calculated, or like whatever you do is well calculated. Bro, when you people were going to Pura, what did you calculate? Why Lena Rengen am sisen holmoen yendolen jite would rek waruta dem sikanam. Yagangen fee. While you are building on your redemption, all of these Gala folks would actually buy because they want to actually maintain that bond. A bond is only maintained bulale si digger. Oh man, sorry, give me a second. My daughter want me to carry her. Halabini legi the man proper to actually put out my back. My goodness. Okay, come on. Come on, baby. Yep. We're still gonna do this. Gambia moko jar. I'm dara luñ fi tit. Ay boy yo xamantene nga nan fi lan you are writing a press statement Malmo ni fega sen press statement yeb du dega. Allah diamo be kuma kalantam. Boy, adama duma la tonya leke tonya moti. But ale findina ale press statement no fonsa ala press statement no benin kuma kalantam. The next minute atol mi fon control manta nyi njabila alkana na Facebook wall oto albe kuma tirimbalo be safela je adunda ja botaja way ko kilen dango londe wonda buka pachole merula tapando ke paru ko ne mangusa on road mega gus gori on daga tebuka jaro ngad dela ngo ngeme ngulundu lempu on daga poni ko tonyir banya mam tonyiru non kay puci uci tapane ke paru ko nga cha ko ndo. So the fact is that you people went there, said everything that you said about this young man, which was not right. Right? Now, secondly, after doing all that you did, you came up pretending as if you care. But look at the young man's statement today. He did mention that they would not get involved because they were arrested And of course, they are on a bill and they're not going to do any protest that is not properly coordinated. But who was supposed to coordinate the protest? Was Gala not coordinating this protest? Tell us that you are not involved, you are not going to take part. But it was being coordinated. And of course, Gala was coordinating it. So how can you just say that it was not coordinated? Because that coordinating body is not the body that you want to work with. Because for you, it's always about you or nobody else. But the fact is that that is not even my problem. You can do your own thing at your own level. That's nobody's problem. But I have a problem with you fundamentally going to that station and talking ill of our people. Because if you do that, then you want confrontation. Because we're going to come at you, and of course, we can do as well as you are doing. Kon ñun suñ génnee ñu wax leen ne yéen loo leen nekk di def jaaduwut amange kuuti mi yàlla ka tilinda. The best thing to do is to apologize for what you were doing instead of trying to come out to act like, you know, you did nothing, acting all Father Christmas, and then you see other people saying, oh, unity si dégala mool tegu du ay naxante ay du jaayante. Oh, to actually be digging holes for other people to fall in. No, it doesn't work like that. Came on high very different, because the fact is that he got to send me a message in the morning. You know what, let it slide. You know, Paco Yini, you know, we know what's going on. We know this and that. You know, and of course, that's what it is. That is who he is. But I and the rest of the people would not say, young man, get involved in this and that. And at the end of the day, we all step back and you say that. You might not know, Kim, I've worked with this young man for the last 10, 15 years. This is one of the most credible person you will find in this country. We have our own fights, even agreeing up, or sometimes we are fighting over other things. We travel, we're fighting together. We're doing all kind of things. There are weeks we're like, you know what, fuck out of here. But at the end of the day, there is no person in one's life as genuine as this young man. He holds no grudge against anybody. When he speaks, it's so soft, very different from me. And when he acts, it's with utmost discipline. And of course, he speaks to you with so much humility. Paco be defud lendara. Manke ananamal manke respecola. He sits on TV to defend you. He went out there when you people were arrested, and of course was working with those, other, ladies and other people to go to the National Assembly where he was arrested because of you people who claim that it was not well coordinated. You are not going out because you are on a bail. But the same person that is put in behind bars was put actually in prison because of you. He was walking in the streets in defense of you. And then he was actually put in jail and was bailed. And of course, something like that happened again. He went out again, and you deliberately refused to come out and telling people, oh, you are on a police bail. You are not going to sacrifice yourself. You have shown your real identities. You have shown your real colors. But if you write a presser and say that everything that we said was not true and we don't have evidence to it, we have people who can come join this life and tell you, I was there and you said it there. But even whereas that's not the case, why did you go and confront somebody to tell him, ah, why ñi dañ dé mëna am façon yi ni way jaruton ngeen ñew ci internet bi diko wax fofu nonu di yena ko def. Gis nga ñun amul dara lu ñoy nobody. The way you are accounting Barrow and his regime, that's the way we are going to account each other. If I do wrong, come out and tell me, dude, what you're doing is not right. But if you're trying to sell our folks to the devil, we will come out and tell you, Dufi hell. That life in Judas will not happen here. We are not disciples, but we will not watch you people act like Judas here. You either do the right thing or let it be. We will defend Kemo, Saibo, and the rest of the people to the letter because soon boy. And not that we have anything against some of you. And Yusuf Tello, let me tell you one thing. Gis nga man. Bro, ndeni da manya na nyo sabala boy. Gis nga man, like, I've seen it good, the bad, the ugly. Our lives are very different. Gis nga kula hamud hey lala oye. Yusuf Tello, you cannot, in any aspect of human development, question my intellectual potentials. I will not get to that. But I know yo, you are not that person. Ko Yakar is not that person. When it was time to tighten that belt and sit your ass down and read and know what you got to do, I did that to the best of my ability. And it's unquestionable, worldwide. For my dem nat, I don't really stand in the middle. That's not me. Bro, I went to a Christian missionary school. I sat my ass down and went to school, and I learned what I needed to learn with utmost respect and decorum. Dekal, mane, yo mun lo ma dekal fuma dekut. Te demal like te man kuma ham fu neka si aduna, they will tell you like, duma manke ken respect waaye duma ko jëlal ken nak. I'm a mixture of a Manjago, Chola and a Mandinka. Period. Also balo sa feri nyaaw nyaay ben tatar la sikuri njanne. Albeto nyaale tamandila wala batariyang wotenkundi. Lolo muy lep. You people did it. And you were even calling people on the ground. Bulen dem si protest bi am ngeen yenangi on the bail kirib kar. Why ñuñ tej ñooñu taxaw nañ leen yeen demba. Tay ngeen bugale na dekkal fuñ dekut. Tay ngeen buga gene ne yeen do leen sara sen bopa. Yeen bugale na delu mile 2. But those people, the likes of Kemo and those ladies that you people refer to as he's mobilizing children, those people you call children, some are married with their 2 kids, some people's children are 8th grade, some people actually in terms of cliff tape, la gena neka kilifa yo. And then you turn around, hamgaluma. Because you can't say anything to me. Like, sinyo wahande dega. Do wahande Malmo definitely. Malmo defon na li Gambia. Jel na aleli rew mi. Wala ligeyon na fi. The good thing about me is that I never had to work for government. Masanta si yala nak. Why you boto be tenganan ma? Oh, you were supporting Yaya Jammeh's regime. Hey, ba ma wala lena? Man la neex. Bumako defon sa man la neex. And let me put something very clear here. You know, most of the time you give those generalizations on the basis that my last name is Sambu. Of course, evidently I am a Jola. You could easily associate me with Jammeh. Why you do musa gene tarfatal aini that you can actually associate me with Jammeh. But the fact of the matter is that money buma support Yaya Jammeh flex dan man la neex. And what has that got to do with you people going to the station to lie about Kemo? What has that got to do with that? And what has that got to do with me questioning Barrow's regime and what is happening there? Money. Yaya Jammeh, bumoneka president. I was 2 years old. Let me just give you the mathematics of it. What do you want me to do, baby? You want it to be at the back, and now you don't. Me. You started to put it up. Cepat. So, if you tell me you support Jammeh, I want to tell you that a lot of my family members do. I remember, like, you know, even my Majago family, my Jola family, they support Jammeh. Legi yolo mun si lulu. And man sumanehe, man support Yaya Jammeh, yolo simun. Let me tell you one thing. When Jammeh was president, I was 2 years old, like 94, literally. And thereafter, the first time I ever voted in an election, I was 12th grade. And at 12th grade, I remember Auntie Madeline would know. I had to go to Sang Korea's house, and they give me an attestation and give, because I was less than 18. At the time, I think I was 17 or so. It was like 2011 or so. And I went there before the elections. I knew I was going to turn 18, and they gave me a voter's card. At the time, I was high school. Politics, I don't know, whatever. You get it? So you never even saw me in any political rally. Yo do musa ud natal si aduna. Benga gis man masol natali tisa di APRC. Musulo ma gis may daw si ganawi moto APRC. You never saw me chasing Yaya Jammeh's whatever. You never saw me clapping for Yaya Jammeh. But all of a sudden, amulo daralo ngana. Oh yeah, just to try to act funny. You say, oh, you were supporting Jammeh kirib kara. Gis nga magdoy fen. Ni dangay wax lula ur. Felix Dan, yo boma xamé ak tay, it's not up to 5 years. So what did you even know about me and Jammeh's regime? Jammeh's been out almost 8 years. Yo, Bo My Ham was just yesterday. The first time I ever spoke to you, I think I was on a master's program somewhere in Southeast Asia, and you were in the UK, and then we had to talk about some other thing. Yo, and that was primarily on environment. Yo, hamulo fuma jogi, hamulo fuma deka, yo munulo ma dekal fuma deku. Tebu ma support Yaya Jammeh, man la ne. Yaya Jammeh mo fay man suma school, man Omar Sambu, mako wax. Lolo da nga ko mëna gën, da nga ko mëna wédi. No, my man can there. You know what? Yeah, Jammeh's government paid for my undergraduate studies through the Ministry of Higher Education. They gave me a postgraduate scholarship through the Faraba Bantam project because I work for the University of the Gambia, and that is his university. And of course, the university gave me, a scholarship that paid me millions of dollars. I got to be grateful for it. I'm not an ungrateful person like some of you. But in as much as I agree to the ills that Jammeh did, I will not say that it was all bad and it was all good. No. So I am a benefactor of the benevolence of that regime because in one way or another, the University of the Gambia gave me a postgraduate master's scholarship fully funded through the Faraba Bantang project that Barrow is bragging about today, because a component of it was about capacity building of the staff. So I was a beneficiary of that. Thirdly, part of my PhD program was through that master's program, because I had to graduate with a 4 out of 4 cumulative grade point, and I was automatically giving a PhD scholarship to continue studies. So now, if you turn around, like 18, I had to go to university. After finishing that, I had to go do a master. I had to continue to do a PhD. When was I into politics to support Jamaican? Yeah, I'm gonna fan. Yeah, I'm gonna fan. And then you know, or even if not you personally, there are people that went there and they were talking about this young man in a negative light. Bro, Nangul and the Lolan def Lolu Jadwood. Lolu is not nice, it's a mistake. But you come out to say, oh, you were supporting Jam, you were doing it. Yo, Dangmamusa, yo, money. So you support ya Jamel. You gonna jege baro, you don't support ya Jamel. And I yogi I will never look at you and say you supported this person politically, because I never even know you prior to that. But even whereas I did, what is wrong with that? Can you tell me what is wrong with it? I'm gonna politic buga la. Yo man kumay buga yo yama koy tana. Bu ma nehe tay mané ma buga baro yo lo simu ñu nekk di yo baro bi ngay dem dina ne you are actually fighting against his regime. The people that are supporting him, what are you going to tell them? It's their right to support him. Let me say yes, I support Jammeh, and what can you do about it, bro? And what has that got to do with telling you people that them this saga pako bini lolo du jadu? What is the point? The one, you know, they are trying to steal the soul, you know, you get mobilized, I hale yundaw, dolen gena, yen genu len why boy, am nañ belte. Mbaru sulen. Imam moli man sila, ko iman tante jabi la, bare ka letter jambal min sa ventala comment from quote from. Why would you do that? And then at one point you're trying to tell me, oh yeah, you know, intellectual, whatever. Bro, you question intellect where you have better intellect. Man lena la gomde. Before you start actually questioning intellect, be at the same wavelength. Jandre wande ko dañ len koy delo be mu mut sak. Deka bi nak ñoko boka ñepp ko mom. Ka kuisata karanyandi na puri rogola. Lo len di jaay rek ñu jëndako. Why ham ngeen ne lo len def jaaduwut? Because if you believe that you never did it, why did you have to go confront Karafa and start to ask him, of course, you know, some of these things happen, why would you act confrontational to a person that I never said told me? But because it was said in his presence, and these are our homies, we don't dogo, and then we don't munu, we tell you to your face. You can write 3-pager of a press statement with everything in it. I feni kese. Ida kiba ba ita mamoli mansila. You know, ita la kiba ya fombe dami ita kananta la Facebook ka wuli asa fedi. You know, but that tells a lot about you. That tells a lot about you as a person. These are the people that tell us that they are accounting a regime, but they never actually take ownership of some of the things they do that are not right. Like kukiling ko nga fala nyamin kemu almong kuno wala. This nga kemo. I feel guilty of some of the things because we did everything together. Bro, almost 10 years ago, you know, probably less than 10 years ago, it was around 2016 or so, that when the government wanted to actually destroy almost half of the monkey park to actually build hotels here and there, it was in the middle of the night when, you know, I think Barcelona was playing Paris Saint-Germain and it was actually 6-2 or whatever. I was to go watch football. But the dude told me they were actually laying some pegs at the monkey park and it was night. I was like, you know what? I'm coming right there and we're going into that park and we're destroying every peg that is there. You want what? What you want? Oh, give me a second. What's the orange? Oh, come on here. Here. It was Barcelona playing Paris Saint-Germain. I was in the middle of the night. And we met in Senegambia. We went into that park. So in telephone, di tal lampa. Peg you for neka. Peg you playing buddy. And the next day in the morning, we went back there. Kotobu don't def pegging be like the person who was basically, I don't know, is it, you know, whatever his qualification was doing the peggings. And I told him clearly, we came over. We removed every peg you put here. And then gisnga subasi, bofi tegrek, dang koy tegrek nyukoy geni. And his threat was, man, ligay na si deka bi yep hamna yep funeka. Trying to give us some mystical, you know, mystical idea malivi. Man ko, hey, una chiba boko manja kompuri to koti wanda. O chim meba lugu munda pe upa mebu kulo chinda tulu kay umerinje tiji kawara bukulo di ba fetu kato. Na puri ruweti wanda. We remove every potential peg in there. So if you start asking people, where were you? Man, where were you? It's not a question for me to show you where I was. I was a kid going to school. That was what I was. That was what my parents told me to do at the time because I was underage. When GAMBIA was president, I was told to go to school. And that was exactly what I did. You have a problem with it? What you wanted me to do at 17, 16, to go and do what? But you who was way older, where were you? And what did you do? I thought you ran and sat in the UK and do whatever you got to do, isn't it? And you want to ask me where I was or I was supporting GAMBIA when you don't even know me? Yo musulo ma ham musulo suma wakir hamulo suma askan way tay nga muna ñew tok ci internet bi di fen. Ni nane yu mané man la neex ma support ya GAMBIA lo ci mun. Is that really in exchange for you people to go and be talking or castigating other people there or telling people now, oh yeah, you fought the regime, bro? I can release a single man that madam talk Senegal. You fought regime, they sat in the Gambia, you lawyer dawo, you fought ya Jamaica. When you disturb, cannot take credit for nothing. They lawyer dawo, so every day people are telling him things that are not right. Oh, you suñ mëne wax ñu dégga yena ñan ba kenn du leen wax dégga. That talk amulo dara loli fin you come to my suma comment trail to say I kind of things. Moro altonya tamandi aliangani joya bondal sondo molo kono almankuno ntollade almankuno kemonyo lens wala ko ndalla ba pare na nga gis ñeneen nane oh they get people into this environment whatever ñom ñuy jël li fini yep bro lan la ñoy jël. Let me tell you another thing, because you often have this mentality that, oh yeah, they're running this environmental organization, they have hell lot of money. We established Green Up Gambia, right? It does not pay Malmo since the inception any salaries. And I'm a co-founder. Director of Research and Consultancies, all research stuff that we are doing. I am right here doing all the shit, and of course the folks that are doing all the work. Ask them if Malmo is on a salary scale or in Green Up. No. But we founded it. But we got people who are working there and they're paid salaries monthly. They got people who are working and they're paid monthly. And we are supporting a lot of projects in communities and societies. And you know where they're coming from? They're coming from our little dumb heads that we actually sit and write and make sure that we got funding for them. And not just communities, including government, that we are running partnership projects that are actually building capacity in government. But you are organizing a tree planting in a community, that is voluntarism. And some of you do it 1-2 hours. Oh, guys, you dara kan mo len di jox dara. Fe ñu bop ñu felen da ngeen fogg na ñun ay dof lañ. Or you think you come into it for money, go and look for a job. And I understand. You the little people who will come and write rubbish money. Dem len gen janga gen am ham gen dem liggéey gen dimbale nit ñi. If you cannot spare the time, I work for the University of the Gambia. That's where I am paid. I go there to work my ass down to be paid. And I go to Green Up to volunteer and to actually, enjoy what we do environmentally. I'm not paid for it. But you want to come and plant a tree and for me to pay you. Are you planting the tree for me? Are you planting it in my garden? I made sure my gardens have enough trees and I buy the trees and plant them myself. I spend hours to water them. Moro, you people got to be honest. Yusuf Teller, I'm not going to describe you, but one of my friends once had an issue in this country and you were talking shit about them. Yet you associate them that they are your associates, they are your acquaintance, they are your family. Ite dal talaka multinya. Atol mo kende jiko tala al faling. Nit dangay weche ko nga don nit ku ba. You had the audacity to come to my wall to say, you know what, I am evil, Kidib Karam. Yusuf Telo, yo rek ya muna wax lulu. Man kuma xam, if I am evil, they can tell you. Man mala wax like what exactly my interaction with people are. You understand? Yo comment entering gunman. I'm telling you, I told you people that you come out and say whatever, I will come and respond to you. Gis nga sa comment su duggé nit da nga dé mëna xam. Yusuf Taylor, you never even know me from before 2016, but all of a sudden you jumped and said, "Oh yeah, you support ya jam. You are yangi mer duga na fi gel na fale, da ngeen am evil intention." You people went and confront Karafa, but of course you know very well nak si digi gaay ngeen doon wax sen wax yu bon yi. Dolen ko muna wedi lolu moy dega, and then you want to base it on, oh, you don't have evidence, because you know what, the dude will not come there to record you because lolu jaruko. Why pako bobu nono? digganteem ak yàlla kooku du ñëw te xamalu leen dara waxu leen dara mu ñëw di leen sosal yow xam nga ne paako boobu du def loolu. If you are a Christian and you believe, you are a divine believer in your Lord, bro, you will not come to my world to lie. You should be better than that. You should be better than that, bro. Man, yo, xam nga ne man amaluma la xol bu bon. Te man, if I, look, bro, su ma gisee lu baax sama xam ne lii pour Yusuf laa give it to you. Yàlla xam na ko. Waaye leena de xam naa ko de doo leen ñu wax lu bon nag ñu xool ñu toog di leen di seetaan. Loolu duñ ko def. Non. Alwulu nya man ñi ñantolti. Atol man kulo ñi banko ka mo mamillo. Atol tafola na manka atol tata kela mo kotenti. Dunia man trawo nyama moro. Alal sondo moli yele. Alal sondo moli yele al ni moli ka funyo la kaje ko na banko itilin to nyakam. Adol la press conference ala na tisa de bodol kana wal fandina wol. Adol ya man al bal fu ngori dim la mol leto. Nin ko adol mo nya ton ka ya don atol ya ko man na beti yala. Ali fonyo wala man beti ya. Ndaka jela faliye. Wenda ni nyimmen wala tole wala jede atol tente nyo kati no la tol ta kuno lantela ala yalon kila yalon so wala mu kuti min soro dal ka to nyala fu hana madu ni molbe ko kon yalon ke mo atala ko so ne akolen kedala ban daga nyina fay. Even when he started engaging some of you, I was like, dude, you gotta be careful, man. Slow down. You don't just jump on everybody. Dunia ngo ikan dogel min taxi ka fo lar man na ñu gene la ci groupe bi man ma len wax ñu gene la ci groupe bi because almanke mo kendelti ibara get lo groupe oro nyaade ya ko wol fon to ko yalla ka fo mo dindi mere ngol de ke mo ko le use adun ta jabo da jan bare ka wol use pour katol bondi prison ka wol use pour katol la right fight adol la murunda biya katol man ta findi la kato yatol belle ni wonte batol murunda mail to latol man ta ku kala moy bare okay mo kin woni wodindi ngol alka min fon kajafi ye wolle muta atol la ko kam e naate bula wol murunda ko ngol ko ba ke mo fen kala ka kuma tini mbolo fo la ba fa la dole ko alka na findi moro o man ñiña buy weex na weex tal buy ñuul na ñuul kuk buy xonka na cuy waaye amul dara lu fi nit di leen ragal a wax de ak ñeneen naan ne yàlla ne we have to unity is built on trust and confidence. Unity is built on truth. Ndama fo ko mi manke mo kendete balale min ke ñun laato o mu daji kan tayality o manke ku kendete lolu ngeen di nangu we move on from there, but the fact of the matter is that even if it is not you personally, somebody else did it, you got to accept na lolu nice lolu du lu ba. Even if killer or whatever did not say it personally, it was said in his presence and did not condemn it. So ñomi neen ñoo fa nekk di wax boobu noonu because moom la ñi ràññee xàmmee ko dañoo killer ak ñu fi toog ñoo fi doon wax loolu noonu kon loolu moo am. Man Paco boobu musuma am affaire ak moom musuma jëflante ak moom musuma am any business ak moom. What exactly did you mean that is a lie here? Because you came, you said I actually was supporting Jammeh. Yow xam nga ne loolu wax loolu fen la bro nekkal waxkati dëgga ke bala muy di mag nga yow mag boo doon waruloo nekk fii nii di wax lu dul dëgga. You should be better than that. Alfisa mante ya dundal ni wuliya tema. Because if you want to tell me, okay, now I'm not really talking about IEF tribe, whatever. Does that even make any sense? But like, okay, let's be factual here. On what basis did Yusuf declare me to be a Jammeh supporter? Because okay, Yusuf, I bet you, like, let's put a bet in it. If you really want to prove it, I put $5,000. Put $5,000 and prove to me that I was supporting Jammeh. Can we prove that? And okay, let's say yes, I really was supporting Jammeh. Yes. Man la neex ma support Yaya Jammeh wala ma demal ko campagne won ma foo ma gis may support Yaya Jammeh won ma ko ba pare man bu ma doon support Yaya Jammeh sax Yusuf loolu lan la am ak yéen di wax lu bon si ñoom yin kee moo ñuy wax ne am nga dëkk bi ñu nekk di demee loolu du dégg léegi wax ma loolu. Write a comment here so the proof that you once met me supporting Yaya Jammeh, or you once met me working in Yaya Jammeh's government, or you once met me at Yaya Jammeh's state house. You once met me, jumping in Jammeh's rally. Gis nga nit boo xamutee nit danga koy ne hey waaye boo jékki-jékkee rek nga bugg a koo dëkkal fu mu dëkkul because xamuloo ko danga koy gis noonu rek nga bugg a fen mag du fen man loolu laa la nekk di wax mag du fen na taafale di ka tuupa jam donc leen tu baraari balaa ba ñànk teefano ka jaw wi jawun taakal wi jawun tan ko teru and that is what is happening with you people. Yow mag yu toll ni yéen ay xale yu ndaw naan ñoom ñoo fi waxoon lii. Bro, you should be better than that. You should be better than that. Alanso kana nyindo kilo wori nyino wedi am ken sama lala. But I don't know ko indi lale. Ibi ba mwela le. Buga adiati ye kuyati ba mwela. Ngo, I'll call that a kumi found. You don't like this person. You actually talk shit about it. Why wouldn't you sit at home before you go to that place and still talk bad about it? But imagine now, a reasonable person would say, these folks went there to see Kemo and all of a sudden, and they just come here and then to lie against you people. Out of what? What do they really want to gain from that? But this is exactly what you people did. So if you did not do it, why did you confront the person? Because you made a comment on my wall that you actually confronted my informant. I don't have an informant. I have close associates we are working together in this. And if it is brought to our group that you people did this and that, we will confront it heads on. And that's what I said. The folks are not going to write a press statement about that like you people did. This is just a one-man thing. I'm going to deal with it with you specifically and not even any other person, because I have a lot of respect for some other people in your group. They're quite nice people and very much, respectable personalities. But you decided to take it heads on. Face it up with me, Yusuf Taylor. Yusuf Taylor, face it up with me. And then, of course, come clear and tell me the truth, bro. Tell me the truth you were actually saying. Wait, this man. Kolo le windi lane to view. Intellectual kid. I am not intellectually deficient. So telo. Go. Kabirin kara wado si rande dara kara moda. Ni wadun kaldi mi walat na wado wada sa fumulego. Ali amira le londo so moro. Amanka ko ngamira le. Kabirin kara mundo ta wado si rande dara kara modo. Ni wo kuyat hali. Ta eta kara mojo eta kara modo. Ali amolo man la kara modo jode. And you want to intellectually shame people. I am not those people, because I put my knowledge in the right way. And of course, when I was acquiring it, and of course, I acquired it in the right way. And then I utilized it in the right way. In one of the most respectable disciplines in this world. I would not say you can't do that. You can. But you cannot intellectually try to tell me, oh, you think you people need to they are looking for attention. Attention. Look at your track record and of course do a comparison. Before you talk about people, put their lives on your life on the same wavelength, and of course do a comparative analysis before you talk shit about them. But of course, the whole point is not about you and I. It's about what happened, and what happened was wrong, and we have a right to come out to condemn it. And of course, we will do exactly that, and we will never shy away from it. And then you thought, oh yeah, maybe I got to him. Yusuf, you will be the last person to get to me. You know why? Because I laugh at what you write. We come from a long way, and we've seen it all, and we've heard it all. And you wouldn't say anything that is surprising. That's the fact. In my right presence, I'm standing, somebody's talking shit about Malmo who doesn't even know I was Malmo. So the fact of the matter is that yo munulo wah lo hamantene nyun musuñ ko dega. Yo munulo def dara lo hamantene people never heard it. I understand. Man nyuma andal them school, none of them will ever tell you this boy hamga pako bu living up. If we are not joking about things, we are not laughing about things, we are on serious business to get our grades right. So you cannot question intellect in that. Do yo te du kenen. Te du ko yakar tamit. So man, I have nothing against your group. You can be the biggest group in the Gambia, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Do your great things. Where were you? Okay, where was I? Of course, you people were here since when? Probably before I was born. And so what? And so what? Does that mean that anything that is not led by you, nobody should do it? And if you look at it from the statement that your friend would have wrote, you realize that you're saying that you're not involving in something that is not well coordinated. So what Gala was coordinating is not a proper protest, and the coordination was a bad one. And again, because you people were already in prison, there is no way that you're going to get yourself involved. That is respectable. But my problem is not even all that your participation or lack of participation or staying at home, but I have a problem with somebody talking ill about Kemo. Kemo kubahla. Ku bahla de te ku mandula ku hambo pam la nak ku doylu la te ku mandula bo community gering gërem mënu loko waxal lu baax kon noppi rek mo ci gën bo doone nit ku baax te nga gom yalla yow mëna am yow defo ko personally, but ñuko def yow lo mëna wax moy ne what these people are doing was wrong. So lolu nga wara xam, and then the rest of the thing is your other groups where you were taking some, send pako yo, wahal pako yo, no man, I'm not a boy Ismaila Cisse. and then I will come at them. Waxal gaay na man, ndanka dama dee hard like the whole nit ngay jema dof lu ba nga aga si man maa leen gën a dof yow to be specific, you and that your crew, whatever. You and I never had any issues. It has always been respect. But the fact of the matter is that you decided to pick up with this one. The fact of the matter is that we got to understand that li jaruko. Bro, boo leen ko waxutee wala gars yi suñ ko waxutee ñun duñ ko wax te suñ ko waxee yow nga doon mag boo xamante ne nga ne maybe ñii they are younger, let me just get to talk to them to realize ne lii yëpp jaru ko. But you decided to say, oh, you are writing a whole 2-page press statement. Yéen boo leen xamee ne man lu ma wax du dëgga loo leen koy safal ba di ko writal press statement. Waaye si seen press statement bi yëpp man mi wax si yéen waxaat yéen amu leen got sa to even put my name in it. What's the point? That what we were saying was not true, but he still went out to confront somebody you felt actually was there, and of course told me. And of course other people were like, yeah, hamga, for some you def de am way jaruton ni dugana fi génn na fal jar nako. Way ñun duñ xol ngeen tej suñ boy yi de. Wala di leen bëgg dugal si ay you can xam. What you want me to do? So lolu moy dega. Man, I have nothing against you, bro. Yalla xam nako. I really have nothing against you. But this is just the last time to talk about this. And then my whole point is that you came out with a praiser. You and I know each other. You could have come and said, dude, why did you do gonna figure in fali? Wala law wax man fogg na ne demé wut nonu ni ak ni why xam nga ne lolu du dega man lu ma wax man ko kelim beje. Just think about it. I left everything that I got to do just to come here to lie against Yusuf Telo or a group of people who actually start to talk shit about Kemo. Lolu ban ngeriñ la ma amal. It gives me $1. Ban benefit la ma amal. Ku xamal mo xam na ne like man weesu naa loolu bu yàgga du tey. Bedi ñëw naa ne ñoom Yusuf Telo laay ñëw di leen waxal lu dul dëgga. Nit dangay màndu nga doon nitu dëgga. That's the point. Honorable, let me say a few things. And that's also another thing, because when I speak so well of Honorable, Abdullah Sise, they were like, oh no, you like NPP. This is a very respectable parliamentarian who does his job diligently. I might have my own political differences with the NPP, but Kotobi, I respect him to the fullest because he does it respectfully, and of course, he gives everybody senchir. And I believe that Nimbuka Monakari. And then look at the assignment they are executing to the best of their ability. And then he's going to expose our government. They are doing it to the best of their ability. And then so wahe lulu moy diga. So wahute lulu na kamal na kudole beto mi mange tonyati. Moro, nyimbango kambira dentala. NPP nga wala UDP nga wala lenen nga. You got your uncles and brothers. Man, my uncle when they send me message, I'm like, don't message me. You and your this NPP shit. Hey, my friend, shut up. Stop talking about NPP. And that's the fun of it. Why not dugalante si ay problem? Gis nga Yaya Jammeh bo don wax dama ko don support. Bu ma ko supporté mané man la né. Even that Yaya Jammeh, some of these attitudes you were showing today, lolo motax ñeneen ni mu ngi leen don def ay ay nakas yu dul nonu, because it's the Gambian who will go on the ground di bolé ñeneen ni wala di waxal ñeneen ni leneen wala di génna ñeneen ni. Añ baay jiko yooyu du jiko yu baax yow ñu la taxawal déema tey nga ñëw naa ne non ñun duñ génn kirib karab du gën a fii génn na fal ñeneen ni génn nañ de waaye tëjuñ leen de. And then these people went to court and of course they got a bail just like you got it. But then before you got it, it was people that came out to defend you, and you said this was not coordinated, you cannot actually be part of it. But when you people went to Pura, was that coordinated? And that this matter, some other people commented that, the matters before the court, they needed the court to actually do the determination. When you people went to Pura, shortly after that, the government released a statement to say that they were actually going to deal with that issue. But nobody came out here to vilify you or to actually put statements that, no, we are not going out, they should not go out. People that were doing that probably believe in the regime, and they would say that, Lulu, den koy mayante. Gis nga ko xamantene gomut yow lo nek di def, they will say something contrary to what you believe, but at the end of the day you need to understand that those are divergence in political views. But lolo taxut na nga wax ni, I saw one of my students, because probably it's a relative to Killer, and said, oh, you got to let this guy bala my digger, he deleted the comment. Bro, you sat in a classroom, you sat your ass down for me to teach you. Somebody who sat his ass down in a university classroom to actually get taught by me still have the guts to say, no, you, bro, it's not wah. It's not about, this is not family affair here. When it comes to the Gambia, we don't care who is who and where you come from. Dega rek la ñoy def. Ko mën tu inda kampu me. nyanka ko nyana lalin witiri o barare wonci o kampole enta te banyanka len tundul te wulon ko nda puritol tal fatal ay ni munulen ci dara woli banyanka len tindul ndeme kuma ndeka puri bu jam tef ko tupar banyami ki me brotu ko defuñ len dara ngeen tok bugal na sosal lo xamante bugal na dekal fuñ dekul lolu du lu baax. That was the point we are trying to reach at. And of course it is very human for somebody to accept that it was a mistake. It is not from me, it's not from Killer, it's not from this person, but of course it happened in the midst of the people and they could have condemned it, of course stopped it, but of course it did happen. Probably somebody misspoke, of course, you know, you could have handled it better, probably not through anger or whatever. That is respectable. And I could have said, okay, maybe you know, game or get or whatever, but the fact of the matter is that you come out to vehemently defend that, oh, what I said was not right. Yo xam nga ne lo doon wax du dega menem ci bu tub xam nga ne da nga doon fen ya halo ne ko be fan ya fo la woto ina de la fan ya sembendu ya mana oh ya talo kay ya ron ko kele mbeje alende so wala la fan ala ten wala itata fintino le kuma fon dama mi ya lon ko mol be doya ku jela je ka don dana mom fon dum doya ku to nsa fo ko mundi nimbalde de barantanga na hajo fanal lonne da numbuka mo fanan to nya numbuka mo nakare fanan itata mo jela gambe mi afo ko karle na fengota wala tele nakare nyina wala mo ma dugal si ay tolof fini wala mo ma defal jiko bandi yini dedet man taxuma si yoyu te do musa dega ñina ki mo wax li waxat li man duma ñooñu operateur man embuka ta kan jako ri mama ku sa kan jako te ko kusuma jako ci de koy me comme ko tiate ko tuputi fa ko tupuru fa wala ko top ko reji ko banya wala ko ngeji ko tapale ci tingi ko mo tum ka ampu me and then you told that, oh, you got to me. Now I got to waste your time. You got to sit here and be writing comments and saying all kind of things. Why, bro? Man, come no malako wahi. Man, amalu mala holbu bon. Tomorrow you can call and then we can have a conversation and we're good to go, bro. The whole point is that we don't appreciate what happened and we have the right to come out to say we didn't appreciate it. And of course, in the absence of Kemo, I got to step up to make sure that we tell you what we got to tell you. And Lulu Dunko Maiken. We are not giving an inch to anybody and we are not using our men as sacrificial lambs for any of you. Because of us, they got into some of the things. Like we keep talking about who killed the cops in the Gambia. Evidently, we know Usain Bojan did not kill the cops. I've been talking about it almost 2 years. And one day Kim was like, dude, you talk a lot about this. Can you give me context? And of course, I came out to tell him what exactly it is from one point to the other. And we put one and one together. We realized that, look, all that you've been saying, I've been listening, but it's true. And the fact is that more and then of course you're not here. You know, I got to really say something about it. I said, look, dude, you're in the Gambia. You can't talk about this because if you get to talk about it, the regime could actually do something else about it. I am out and about. I can say anything that I think is the truth about it. And I could give my analysis to it. Nobody's going to jail me. I go to work the next day and of course come back to my house and sleep. Of course, yeah, take care of my daughter, my little family, of course, alhamdulillah. But don't get into talking about it. So I am going to say something about it. And the young man went to the TV and said, yen ham genne police de nañ fi police ñoo gëna mun fi investigation ñoo fi gëna mun sen liggéey waaye lu tax ba légui dëgga gënul ci affaire bobu non. I was a little bit like, dude, I told you not to get into that. This is a genuine young man. Very genuine. Te lum gom rek la moy wax nak. Du sosal ken, du fenal ken, te du manke ken respect. Even whereas we had some protests on the environment, he would say, no, don't speak too high in the negative light. This is our message. Let's just convey the message. So, budul yo kenen mo nyo wax pako bi ni yak ni lolu jaadu o ma ñiña moro ke mom mo ken dolati. So, man, like I said, I got nothing against you personally. Yusuf, you and I used to have conversations and communications back then. Sometimes we have, we join some, lives together here and there. But it got to a point that was not the case because man luma go makio logo muna am du bena. So if that is not the case, we don't find the convergence. Koneka mudem you wana why nak lena na kamnako. Ay wah yudul dega mo man na sonna wala jam moro. Anun defananda sonna kom dala bol mini alon ko kamna ne man luma he ñoñu lol la ñoy he ngatol jaatol yo wol dundi problème ko. Ko do wasaken defana mboli no din kuru yaate moro. Je al ko moda fem fola wala moda fem fola to la mu jumallet. So nyina mkuti Gambia mi alon ko mol dam mal nyanta because nyim boli tol be jikiri min nako ni tol da man tra kuo kuto dron o man nyana soto la Gambia o mun daji ga sifalti
do fana mbeje ngoje kana comment ka fonte je ko ha malo yankuba dabole Omar Saibo endorse malo galala mu nyadi anything UDP we are not going to endorse it lolo suma business sila lala wo mo dala mu haji sun kan you see Gambia mo ndeka deka bu foni wo xamantene Yusuf Taylor jumped and dekal ma fenen oh you support Yaya Jammeh bu ma len waye ne NPP lu ngeen di def ci deka bi du yoon ay sacc alel rew mi na ki boy UDP yi lañ moom mooy tooñaa faatule doon dafa am foo leen koy dëkkal benn nit rek laa gom Gambia for the moment mooy that National Assembly members yu nekk di def this committee Omar Jato Ablaye Cissé look that's a guy I respect so much and he knows that and this is a guy that I can say anything about his political party but still deals with me with utmost respect. Some ministers and some former ministers we still have that very cordial relation because buñ doon liggéey si dëgg lañ ko teg and bu ñoo jëflante si dëgg lañ koy teg waaye nag ku ñu bëgg a andil ay dudul noonu ngata ndila ko moro a jam kusara wondu ka joba te mondo kusuna ko ampuri lon ko tula ba wonde re la rep kanda ni wonde le rep kanda te mo ki ngal pijak mo kale intu ko wuli lui ondo way. These are the things that we got to understand. These are the things that we got to be speaking to each other about. Gambia got to be, the foundation got to be based on truth. But for you, the young people that will say, no, Bailen Lulu, let's all just come back and talk about, the truth. Let's all come together. It's like we are dribbling each other and trying to lie to each other. That's not the thing, bro. Let's be honest to each other. Of course, partnerships got to be built on truth. Khadija, you got to put off that air conditioning. You can't do that. Jaja. Jimbanu ko wi. Chedam negate. So, lolo mo ilip. Papare man. This boy make me laugh, Gis nga nit boko xamute. Don't go to things that you don't know because it makes you look funny and makes you look like, okay, boy, because man kumaham, Muhammad Dega Mugis Yolo Neka Dibinda, they will just laugh at you because you don't know me first. You're talking about things that you don't even understand, and then you are saying things that honestly people who know will know Nakiwahu Dega. Moro. You see all this environment stuff that you people been to, some other people would say, they got people involved in this and then definitely. If I would tell you the first time I came, I had to go to one of the conference of parties. Listen, ala dorone along. Yalna sutura yaga rek. Yalna sutura yaga. But those who know the truth basically know what's going on. And like I said, I ain't got nothing against you. But that will not stop us from telling you the truth. Lolo mo ilip. Yo Malik M. Jallo, you are busy with your NPP Luken Hamud. You are not my Facebook friend. You have nothing to do with me. I have made a lot of videos about who killed the cops. You will never cut it and go and paste it somewhere. Yesterday you had me talk about this dude stalking ill of Kemo, which was not right. And then you think you can cut that and go and run a media propaganda on your, pretentious life of the, NPP. Nekale need to digger. Amlen hell. People don't hate the NPP, but we hate what is happening in the Gambia. We hate the fact that the corruption is unimaginable. We hate the fact that, this regard for the rule of law is unimaginable. We hate the fact that Jensen Gurgini could sell, cattle for 900. We hate the fact that you people could hide some report from the president when it comes to, the Jana Commission. We hate the fact that one person could be named Mahmoud Ahmad, Hamad, just to steal and loot state resources. We hate the fact that you borrowed onto the point that you cannot borrow anymore. You are stating our state, you are selling some of our state institutions. You gave out the bridge. You are actually trying to give out the port. You are going for a dry port. They are all 30 years. Like you people are actually advanced in terms of economic indiscipline of that country 30 years ahead. Bro, anyo hante dega Gambia rek lañu boka. Lena hamna ko de yo hamuloma musuloma gis you only come to my Facebook. You add me as a Facebook friend. Mela Facebook friend ko answer. Itara je kana video ko de ko sambela page. So kununda malo NPP atoli aje ko ndanga fem foni mbolo malo ko kula ke min to nyaman kele. Barante mera diamola janatol nena mantelo video kunto because alman get to multi. So you come here to listen again. You can actually screenshot it and go and do whatever, bro. Anneka need to digga. It's not a crime for you to edit, but you go and write whatever you want to write there. Lolo do dara man tielo mala dara. Moro, gis nga man luma wax. Ndanga fengo fem forong I assume it. I take full responsibility for it. Man luma samba boy de te duma tapet de. anu muka mola video ko nga nanan konka kuma tilimbalu la fojede anu nga modol je wali o video fananta ko fananka fenne sa ko la the likes of Momodu Sabally moro eni Momodu Sabally sa kafu nyaaw nyantala na kafuta katambitati eni Momodu Sabally sa dempati la na duta he will tell Malmo is my little boy moro ita mon kuno waratol to bonni no la je na duta nin tolla kube kering walla ka loye loje because ni la politiko keda nyaaw ni la politiko ni ta tarla ku killing whatever or we might dislike what they are doing but at the end of the day na duta respect ko hormone mbunya wala ka tamanda malo tema kadu do lek lañ nen musaji te bu metti won sen kaw ñun dañ taxaw na ñi luñ leen nekk di def nguur gi luñ leen nekk di def du dégg du yoon baren tolni woke mo kin won tolla kan haajo tuje kataw Momodu Sabally ya ka sije kaje ko wato min nañu masa kunda ba torande kan wala masa kunda ko tamal ba torande kan kaje ko nakke bala mun nakoto kelo mo anno manta ntanenata Momodu Sabally dato jow yala so na diara te min folanta ma yo fom fonta ma de barante nata mankelim because I will never reciprocate that because I never believed in that. The last time I was in the Gambia, my last people that I sat to have a discussion with was Momodu Sabally, say Omar and of course Buba Sananjay. These are my homies with our big brother. And we sat right there, have a conversation. He prayed for me. So koko so wale amlum wa si mantay. Hamal ne koko mo mandon nyanal dimba. Te nyan bi wor na ma. Te gom na ko ne si xolam la joge. So atol min yalon ko biyani wal kafuda ala domon al ma mol temol long al ka domon je. Alkal fokumul long because politiko manjari wal bela politiko mu kula de minka ban kunon kabira alba torane kan tolle wultan kay ko nyimman ketil ngonin tonyati annun kabira wulta kabeta NPP tol dole beje ndoyata nyaawnya he called me on the phone to say ndo ma nyinne be kere kay man di nya man fenke nya malla nyi masa kundala but I respect the fact that you want to go there annun bindata silan ko kuma jawolo fo man ndama nga wodi ngoti de kadu ngala kende yala long kadu na temo ay kende yala tamandi je when you nek ñun amuñ jiko bu bon si ken but the fact of the matter is that if I say who killed the cops nobody will tell me Omar you cannot say that moro ndanga molle je min yala ko I criticize their politics they are close friends to my father they go to my father to say man you got to talk to this kid you know what his response is the kid is an adult and he decides what he's got to do that's the kind of home I came from. Not my mother, not my father. My mom listens to some of these and say, "Hey, but I'm like, mommy, come on. You don't have to be listening to me. Just come on, do your thing, man. You don't got to listen to what I got to say because at some point, sometimes you got to put my mind on the fact that my mama is going to listen to me. But there are moments that I got to put that aside. At the end of the day, mere bo hamna dombum jur. Te ñom Sabally ñoo xamantene man jëflante na ak ñom ñoo they know the person that I am and the personality I am. Other people who are in your NPP and hold key positions know this person because they've dealt with me in several occasions and of course professionally and of course socially. Kon nal dunta mulla ko kon alka domon ajel suma video di ko diobu ci sen ay baxum ñol ni moko don kon faje amuna yara fa NPP atol ke la moy ndalal amuna yara fa ndaka mimbe fo NPP atol ka moyle bara NPP al nena ma kundu ka sa faje kon doge fe la ka ñini ngaro ko who killed the cop faral ma la fi ko moy muni atina wakatol balo jani. Why do you people get so agitated and angry when I say who killed the cops? Hana yen bugule na xam ñan ñoo rey police yi mané pako bo len wax ne mo rey police yi di fenal UDP ak ñeneen lolu mo tax ngeen ne man UDP la man la neex mané I am a full-time opposition to the regime of Adama Barrow and if that means going to the UDP alhamdulillah muna be jemi manke toñat do I owe anybody any explanation ndake baba ni na you know, whatever that I got to do, somebody got to tell me what I'm going to do with my life. No. I am independent enough to decide that. But boy jël suma video nga koy code diko manipulate taeta tonya foje nga mimbe foje yo fintindi. But hani mini famo ka sia. Wali ya lon ne konteni tol temo tonya nintili modron tamata je. Anu kunu nga mim foye tolie ko nyima sakundabe minkeke la tonyanteng. Ni yake mo koten nambe wala fola. Anu hani bi fongo ni murunta yake tolla kotengi. Mba fola ko tonya nintili motaje. You know, to conclude, Yusuf Taylor, you said like I was supporting. Let me tell you one thing about GAMBIA towards the latter part of his leadership. I think, you know, I was, where was I? 2016. Okay, 2016. I was just finishing an undergrad. So while I've just completed my undergrad, you know, what's that? What do you want me to do? No, don't step on that. That's a keyboard. You don't do that. What? You like to play a lot. You go watch TV. Okay, no. Okay, I got you. Come on, get this. Okay, give me a second. I'll give you another orange, right? Come on, here. Get that. Come on. You gotta be a good girl, baby. So, when Jammeh was in his, I think there was a period he said Gambia was an Islamic state. Let me just tell, because you don't know me, so you just talk about me. So, part of my family, like, you know, part of my family is Christian. So, and Jammeh did say, that's like, you know, that's like typically, you know, Carolinkas, of course. Part of my family is Christian. So, and what happened was Jammeh said Gambia was an Islamic state. And I went home, you know, to the village to see my grandmother and other people. And they're like, oh yeah, my auntie or my mommy had like a document that they were signing to say, you know, they were petitioning Jammeh for calling Gambia an Islamic state. And she wanted me to sign it. And I was like, now, that's how funny my life is. You know, of course, I'm a Muslim. And that's it. But now, you know, you got a family or you got a whole family that's Christian. And they're not happy with something that was happening in the country. And they asked me to sign that petition. I looked around, I could see like a lot of agitation in their faces that they were not happy with Jammeh's declaration. Even though I know that was political here and there, I was so furious that I know that was wrong. It was not right to do that. You people can go to the bank with whatever you believe in. My belief is left to me. And she brought the document and I signed it. I was like, you know what, maybe this is just political, but don't worry. But I could see that my auntie was very upset about it. I went to Facebook, I said, this bullshit of naming the Gambia Islamic, what nonsense is that? You know, leave our country in peace. We are at peace. We have no problem with anybody. And some people, the next day, were calling my co-worker, whom I sit in the same office with, asking, well, Hana Malmo Munfi. Gambian be. They got my number. They didn't call me. They're on my Facebook. They won't call me, but they're calling other people. Boy, that means nobody dares to say anything to Jammeh. Yusuf Taylor, what were you telling Jammeh at that time? Don't support Jammeh. Your code don't support. Who were you supporting? Were you supporting Usenu Dabo? Because your people said that you will not endorse anything. Were you supporting Usenu Dabo at that time? Or were you supporting PDIS? Because nobody knows you politically that you were involved in any politics. I don't know you, so I cannot say what you were doing. But what has that got to do with what we were talking about this morning? So how many yen manduma wahiyen wahulen ko tengen kamne ken wahu ko siyen? You could have come out and say nobody said it. Bro, manduma tapet. Lolo munna ekite suma bat ca kaw. Ne manduma tapet. Te munna daje yo te lu mala wax ni mo wax lako Yusuf lo len def du yoon. Yo xam nga lolu sax. O manke kude mimbe nurita la. So kane fonke janjambaro te atara du wonten toñate me toñala folan no ñoy dole be jenta futala nalta futala wodo bara ngalo na mimbal sondo mol kono ndaka wala fali bare jamin siaran dedi ngalo no ko yaaje me be maral lo time mi ne tambida 18 years la lete mo ne ko wodo pour falu moy nawo banko ka ha kar la fodante ayem kuma kilim fo jang way ka fo ko donc kilu ten nin ten ire rasi Senegal wala mu masakunda kelen do. Pare butong, you know, honey Mario, okay, you know, great and good. So, because you Mario, okay, mama nyana to nyafole. Bara atolo ka kumajalle fo mansa kundali jang. Fo baro makata wodo. Ani baro min dara campaign la pura yaje me boni pura tesi. Fala baka to nyafo e. O fana sa fo no lo kontel afan ko nyaade ndala nga jato fa. Bare modo le dara kasola pura teke no president anda wolle to use pura teke no president. In dunia kambalu nyola we are all interdependent. Bara to nyamo kilintante wote de. And wala siyadante ni te bete because to nyala be follow la wal dumbe la banda fana albe sonna wala ali al sonno mol ko walni mole ke kilindi atol ka mol jibel al ke segregate based on certain elements. I will not get to that with you people. Why nak nit da ngay fihal sa xol lo bugal sa bop nga enel kenen jama ngeen bay di xol nit ñi nak di wax lenen ak ludul nonu ci ñoom amante ku kendati e dama ko non daladi noge ndol mu berending mamari ngolati ni mo wala ngoko indila te mama wara wulo manke Gambia fo lu ndangol te de kana fa ko matili malo fo lan tole dol mel kala kunda di ñol te kana yaw nega fi di jaay lu ken xamul lolo fi jaay lu fi amut. And then what exactly with Malmo gaining coming to say things against I either Gomsa Bopa or Killer is or Attorney Yusuf Taylor pour lan feka defulen ko e ko nyaabe ko kono ko sirolla anu ntelo wondo keltina la wali ala tol kan ka ko mfela lori njanyi ne fele be nyinne fokam mulama. It's not true. Tol manke sada dingol tede tol bukana ka fo mole ko ala ko do ka fon ali adin tol la de so ma fo ko no mantala nyindo to because it's not this and that. man go malulu gis nga boy yoyu nonu they be like ah boy ala ñaka ci na la nte bu ko woké nte ni man la min nanka fu ele pam ci diga bi rek añ fa jaar bu ñoy jubo ñu jubo ci diga rek ñu anda ci diga lolu moy lepp bro you know I can call you the next minute and tell you pako ñin wala be kering so alla fandanga mundo kal fon ke kuren dol mo sonko sansa mama ngol lati ndab ko sila maka basila la jumala fon wala pour mo in every aspect of human development yow do to nganan man like yow wi dafa mëna fono lan tay alal do ya mol long ala kuma tilimbalo fo alba fono la min yalla wol long ke mo nato man tra konti killing amam ku kala amam fem falma bokulen askan bokulen li ngeen di yëngu so nita make mo kotongol yake you know you have to get this you know fanko ya foko to nyamo nyinete amanya kala wanyama akana mol barani janga foko you know kede kara you are writing that whole press whatever camera ko ngale ko ale mo fale ama mol tengon ala press den men beni kuma kala tan ka fo mol janko lu ñu wax du dega du gana fi gen na fale te ngeen xamne wax dega yalla dem ngeen ci code bi sa di confront boy yoy no di jaruto lolu te yeen ngeen gene press den so alka gamian ko len ne atral nyaabe to nyaala wala mundi you know a good human being will come out and say, Amoro, maybe in the mafo, karamafo, but more cotton for Jana, you know, that we condemn here and there. But Alka Fin, Alka Tapoli, Akumula for the correct. I don't need Massa Kundagamin Condibo Alpha Tamana. But a Gamian Colanya, Adam and Alamasa Kundalale. Ko, you know, Yalanta meta for Lako, Adam and Mulla Palaso, Le Chica, Miracle, this is a biological inheritance, it's a family affair. Apparently, I will ke mola environment minister. Hani buke ya mola long environment code. You cannot distinguish adaptation from mitigation. You are environment minister in the Gambia. Science subject. They brought military people and make them directors of forestry, and they militarize our forestry sector, which is in contradiction to the existing laws of our country. It's a model you will put the janko. You told me environmental activists already. They are dining with the government and they don't even know shit about what we are talking about. You have no clue about, you know, political ecology. You have no clue about, you know, natural resources management, and then you come here, you want to tell Malmo, no, limo nega si luabi. Yo, ya may wahlu nega si luabi. Ndoke baratol dol fon bi jal nyantal fon lon na la wayi. Minister mam min fonde atol lebo folante. Amanke fon wara kudi bara minister mam min fonde atol lebo folante. Minister ma longa ma bodulala ma lo mimbe caring because either you are just a nephew or niece to the president. He just picked you and make you minister of you know environment. Since then munata da nyato wodla na manke nyato ta se mba ko mo ngami so doje. Mose misa di bako nyaawo nyaka bira be jay to nyani ntino wala tamani wo ministry to. Nim funding kele kusho da kanale anale si anale beng anale kacha adiata kuyata he is always there. Ntolka sile wanyala nga protest ken ka faye nana ye la moy nanga na min fanda kanala ke la moy na nyindo ka fala ko ndela bi jansila ba o bari non president wat altaral ka molla kordal boy sukuta nin la ko tangol ta taral ma lon to nyani tilimo ka ale molla fore sol mutali a betinya fal kal kata monki pak la wafu at the market value price ale si alko moto to nya fala to ya to len jumal munay ma bari ndo njoje bi wod min bulata nyi suñara bakon andon tan nga fale janna ko baro aka badi ngol leta GGC min be je groundnut corporation dol mama le do ko ke won la fo nga fo janning arabe fala the groundnut corporation sekol to nindula kotongol to they were exposed to all these aflatoxins nin ko kotongol min ya lon ko occupational health and safety issues that they were exposed to Gambia le wol fa moro adol da fem fo no lan dolede ndolla alfa ya kata nyimbanko hele so adolta kuma tilimbalo fono lan tolen tol mamal da bije ba marke ba nyamin yalon ko they were in the field force and they work in the state house of the Gambia ka fa handsome soldier alkana moli yab wala fi def lu ñi defut ngeen di tok di bëgg wax ni len dekal fu ñu dekut enay ñaan albeto ñala tamani la jang ida ko mo ma kadi so wala mu kuti min be kere bara nyimma sakunda be tilimbal yani suñaro min na nyimbanko kan nimbe konta wulla ngata ni nyimma sakunda la ko to nyala nyanda sabat la Gambia wota mbe kun kan kadu nyini ya Gambia wa fele ko tanji tan saba min kanana hani ma sakunda do nata bi wala be toro min kala nyini min famba kono tay e ma ke folo because nyini don toro kala fo ana say mo bukala fike don to ko tay Gambia's economy is one of the poorest in the world, and they bafala mole ko the economy is developing. Hani cemento fanga buka soro no banko kan e ka kodo jole baro kar kilim fula janni be cemento ko mo to mala ndol futa rawot wati bina hani mano mbasanda lan kana badu janni kar fula janna bina ngo ila yuru furo bla way mo nyomi ka manya la kete ade be nyomi bon kay fonka so wala mtu nyati so nibe kuma folante mayno lo kuwaye go and do your investigation start na kuno ngol benyene na yena fo matanata wala Karuntangalon no kontamam perfect, and I've also made mistakes in life growing up as a kid and of course as an adult. You can go and get them deep go anywhere and come and bring it to light. And ninteling a code looking out on calling Tilman Tonya Mantanta Bucasilla or a minute and go Tonya and Delanga Maki. Moever Mukudo came out. It am far at a cook and even far from Abadana or Lacarnian far, it a kudo kill and a minta bitawana. Bandama Mofa Kukede. And no more Jurutanteladi. And Numbuka from Wala Kodoka from Cavalia Dinteladi, Kabirin Doku Wado seat and Doltara Doku, La Kabirin Karawado seat and Balin Fali and Nekara Motoli. Ha, society and Dolkuluman. Moro, Dolbora Brufunya Falen. That's a community where love is spread. Where people, the entire community takes care of all the kids, man. Time of in a society can more discipline, you know. Ndolmo jamana dinungo le mi ya lon ko amanke ko ibani fada malaka fo iten nintendo ndolmo bo you know alla ni town fen ko to don tol bota buru food satelo kono. That's a village. Mi ya lon ko ni findira you know mol ke jeslo ka fo ko dinne so kono wale ye long e melon bara tonya wala ka sabatu bodla so albe tonya na tamandila en lol lañ xam way ay jifi nanga na benjana pante jake jekro en mo bungu ko ngamanta nanango kono ko tu par banyante ke baba mo moli masele kana tonya kana fani afala kemo fela sera so kono la bi manatol mammal andal ya lon ko atol leaf bar no ngone ne tatal jabila because andanga boy aman jarala because wonta ko la boy ko nyini tuje boy aman jarala ko kamera ko boy te nyamat ya dron kontol dole nyamare because we will not watch our boys be sacrificed by some of you. It's not worth it. Ni te mula kuma moy dron isina karle nyinke dang. It's not worth it. So nal ni mol be ka fulal ka futo nyaka nal manda ka fula to nyaka na le janjang barnal kalbe nyone ka fula kala you know at the end of the day you know fanya ka fo you know na fenkeda you know to nyala ka janjang so albe lola nyo fe to nyala kam ndongol findira gala findira you know ila ko humbata mol fata je ka je ko to nyane ntino eta man do you know fengo findira ka fa nyaade pura findira ndo arrosta wala yo fenge pour kal fango redeem na alta ali nyine do ko ke foga baralla faka ko be ka to tati pour mu ka fo le ko man coordination ku ke bukato kalam tan ko mudo mala dol dadu ndakol kon adol yalla ko sanji dan tan ko ma janal ni nawek ñol ya fenke jang you know min nyanta na la wol na raja but at the end of the day the whole thing is al nali dam male do ko ke ndam ndamanta la do ko do yala baral kana wani molta doya andal kana mol sabotage wala kana kuma tilimbalo fo modolma nal manta findira ali de tek ka foko molle ben kol kam baranta ngata ndal ko ndamanta finna molo min be kol kam bawo ya ko woliyel amman jare na facebook ya fon tole min be findila wol be findila le na figi ata alto mona na fala fam bola e mo enda kol jambi na min ka jamuna na min ala facebook nga mol ben kol kan e be kol kan la kol cika e man na facebook yenyi nin ka ye kol le yenyi nin ka bawo e man ta findila fo e duma ko man ta findila andal ka min fanan kol duma al ka fo ko al kana finti mol yo be kalam dala wala nan findira nga fale ko albe min na man ke tilmo ta man ke toñati. It's as simple as that, bro. So ndang wala seramba min falali adol da fem fono lantamade so wala mu kuti mi sarada nyimbanko kambe nyimbanko lon la silo la kan to nyani tilon kan adama la masakunda man tiling sunyara masakunda la masakunda kurungo la moydi man salon mi ya lon ko ino alon ne all the tapale ya min be bala masakunda oto be nyima masakunda tilin na silo tilin la silo la nge bondi je mo ko tangol yananam kadu they don't even deserve anything. Molmi yalong ko you go and harass the auditor general ko by force bondije. But even look at it, you can see the tricks of this regime. Adamala molike fon kamire to nya mental but you know mo kurungol fon ina ma. But that is how a kakistocratic regime behaves. Because imagine no matter what Gambia bo warari nya minten kulluhum atol mam mo jalbe minkela minister of trade. You know you actually went there because you know there are things that you want to hide. Your dirty linings you want to hide. You went to the auditor general, you invited the officer because you know. Hani atan tell mi yalong ko adamala ko man dia nya fereng. Na yung kumandala office ntataje. The best thing I would do is never to go there. But nintataje mansalom mansayanji benya ko na konya moro lafta nyim palasi kar dilela. I will not look at him in the eyes and tell him no, I don't want it. O manke respect oda manke bunyati amanke na yafa ngote o manke Gambia din yati. Ni malta mare le sa fay ko mba ko jibela la you know ye son lingo ke dron but ni bota je ni formal letter dealer you can isa balan wala le abu ko do ko ni no dron you can apply for a job and they actually you know interview you, go through all the stages and send you the offer. You look at the offer, you feel like I don't want this. What do? You respectfully declined it, and when you respectfully declined it, they don't call you for that. But if you call somebody to your office to talk about a job and of course they agreed verbally, but you send them an official letter and they said no, I rather remain here because luai wale sembo din anu momanya nambondi nola jang kadi jakana king. Hey, stop it. Luai wala sembo na ko, mo manya nambon la jang. The first thing is it was inappropriate to even try to entice the Auditor General for a ministerial position. That in itself is criminal, that in itself is manipulative, that in itself is deceitful. Nintala mansa kundalom, I will look for a minister elsewhere, but I will never try to entice the Auditor General for it because I know his position is not touchable, and I know his position is nothing that we can just change out of the blue, and I know luale be lori mi alonko anyina position of protect. What ambeta mo kote nenyin la minta mbita Auditor General, but I left a minute la ka bondi je ka ke minister de because ni ke minister de so ma sinende barosa fo eno ko nge baile. Andung aina modo ke jaya ke Auditor General and Allah lafta nyimmin kala je akweta Gambian ko bela ko nyimu sunsuluto lati ñun no moti mi yalon ka be nun gawfa ay gawfa la kodo sunya bota nar na America jam ñu wati dan tan ko na murunta na Gambia because ni Sankare na ta ke la bun la ko na la bun hayna jana Sankare ka tan to la janne ni juwen General Assembly be kere yalol fo la siela fo yebi fo ndaka sinna palantero to janne ka jibe fa Sankare be jila duma la baran na ma je duma kar nga je duma mbita la duma nga fa Sankare ta ko sen bo janne police ol fa ita ñom fan ya fo la man sot. But the whole time, maybe in that do call what I'm not Sankare. But because of your friendship, nim fem call yo bondija yo samba yake internal auditor, saying he left a low cabal, that criminal cabal, he left a wala tale yo okay, Auditor General, they said you can be concealing all of their things. But Auditor General's office, all the employees that are there, altonyan until what tamandal in Gambian kolotema. E call your salary mean alabal contibola wala, so make sure that you do the right thing. Most of you are young people. You know what is happening in our country. Make sure you put the country on the right footing. Yes, baby. Why are you doing like that? You want to talk? You want to talk too? We're talking about Gambia. Huh? The president is really terrible. He's so corrupt to the core. And we got to talk about it, okay? So someday you got to go there and say, you know what? This Barrow guy messed up this country big time. So those are the things that are happening in our country. And we all got to condemn it. It's a matter before the court. This should actually outrage every Gambian to come out to say that we are not going to accept this nonsense. Because power belongs to the people. And it resides in the people. And the masses should be there to defend the constitution of our beloved country. Listen to Batambedu in the commission. That's why my thoughts are never those that are liked by all of you, or some of you, because so if it favors Yaya Jammeh, tell me I support Jammeh. If it favors Dabo, tell me I support Dabo. If it favors Barrow, tell me I support Barrow. I don't care. The fact is the fact. Masakunda sun suluto laka mole ko UDP. Nka diarantele. Atole mone no fo nimbe UDP atole ka na bilol jofo. Atole kanjo atole kan na hajol to potonye nalma mol dahandi. Bare konnante ya min kata dal sondo mol ko nalbe to nyala tamand la mol la bankoka. Nyama sakunda kuno ne Gambia fo jibe nyaato ta semba ko mon dol katu wala ko no drong. Nyama sakunda ya meneka constitution on dol mo soto out of their cruelty and criminality. But look at them, the judges, they started paying them money that was never even approved in the National Assembly. Ntolko nyinno multi mini be dokula ntola tilingoni ntonya abundato. Wolike fon dokula mi yalon ko anin tilingoni ntonya manta. Woto ntola judges all already wolmu nakare mollede, wolmu tapale mollede. So woto ntolbe jikela jumalle le mini be tonya tamandi la ntola bankoka. That the Minister of Justice can go to the National Assembly to ask about retrospective application. The retrospective application is not to go and pay them the previous month. They have already been paying them those months. Why? How can you even start paying people monies that was never approved by the National Assembly? Flooding all the processes, of course, disrespecting our existing, laws and regulations in our beloved country. And this is the people that are running our state affairs, as if Gambia is a jungle. But nobody should talk about it. We all just got to watch so that things continue the way they are. And then everybody got to tell us that, nka moli jele mini ben na suwol fon kono ila office wala kono ila toilet or in their houses is better than their office, but it's that office that is paying you. But al nena tawol nyini kala ka kodo bonne mun tole tapale ya ni sunyaro ni sun sulutol atol yalla moli je wul ne bere jola 30 40 $50,000 and you are building story buildings yo bonne mun tole. You ask people to go and fight drugs, they become drug dealers. You tell people to go and manage our stressors. Because I know at one time, I'm ECOWAS ko corridor di Gambia la molle so that a certain amount of money ida mal ka tala ida mal tema. You see those folks at the State House, some of them they micromanage this country because Adama Bukari da Kalamuta Adabuka Kuboni no nyorate kai It's so lazy. It's like morala ka dia la nyaming. So wali Gambia mutala ko fansum tallo mi ka mera ko to la keta banko la wode. Nen be ma wuli ka je ko ngana banko teleni ni silo. Some of us can show up and mind our business. We don't care. But the fact of the matter is that everybody got to care, and this government we will oppose it to the letter. Lolen buga wasi ñun wax len ko nak. Lolen ham wax len. Nim fana man dening ala fa ñoko mo reñ nit ñi naka ja way mo la ko la suña way mo la ñi nit ñi naka ja. Antangala tendu mota fa la ñoko mo lo comme na julu la bela da wara ñi na nakar jaay tata ki kerete no. Anom buga mo fana jibe ka ko ben nakar la fana ni ko ben nakar la to ñan ko la taman ni tema mom mo la ke baya fana jibe wodo ka do mo man siya to ñat. Conducive Taylor, just to cut it short, I have nothing against you, young man, but I have everything against you people coming out, not just you as a person, but you know that group that was there to actually talk shit about Kemo. That wasn't nice, you know. Kemo jiwud len lulu nice ut. You know nen la sunyo def dara kaya mom na rafet rek. Because at the end of the day, ku ka soma la bala, you know. Yamin ke bi no nyante mira la sama la obo mo daji ka sifata ndatol la. Yan buñ len tiye boy bobu dafa dem ci TV bi kuma kendo do na falma. You know, but he doesn't expect that from you, and tomorrow he will not come and badmouth anybody because wala konko ngamin foy ma wala mto nyaade so wala kuti min soroda amin to lamo kendo either they are in NPP or whatever, we will never abandon them. So moy lolu dunia ta lala dunia kan fa yafo ko momi yalon ko iku kendo nyolo mo, and so me yafo ko adon ta politique fen ko la ko ne ko kata kuma la fo mi magato nyaada. But when the right things come, you will never stop us from asking that. And who killed the cops will be known, because Usaino Bojang and some of us went to school together, and we're from the same community, and that community, like, we live in a community where everybody brings you up. When the lako do kill with lab built to nyimbang kolkan. But hormone bunya drong wala tidila no hormone bunya wala murindinka, and then of course they want to see you do better for yourself. That is the hood we come from, and we ben grudge from anybody. So tol nga ala tendula de mboda sa de min ala tendula community fanandol nga ala tendula ko, we will always defend that community to the letter, and we will never allow anybody to be a distraction to that. Who killed the cops? NPP should be able to tell us that. Alu fonye alu fanan bi al nyim fanan kuntu aleta pesa alla pejol do bawo kununta ali wol kuntu ali akala pejol do bara wenda kontande de ala mo atan ninna la ko to nyato ke la moyle annun kam mimbe falka moyle alkal nyaka siminna mim mal fibo alkal nyaka so wallal bara mim mo to nyati de kan jakalan timbang mim mo to nyadal ko moyle. I think you want me to cut that short, right? So bari ngol ngal tendu ngal jay alma tilo to diala wo, ngal ma suro diala, but thank you very much. Like I said, no ill feeling, man. Kay alma nyomo yo melanda maltema, but alma kukuru mo fanan kana nyo fento wala, yeah. You are NPP, ne kala NPP dem bombole to wala fe man, NPP nte buka na onkuli bamfali amo NPP le ninga ko NPP kana brufudi kana mitino lela beach bado da ninge taraje aka sabal ta brufudi fo mbal ngana dia molla ko la aka sabal ta ko ke molla super cup final wala fenko bal nal mo bondi je kana mol diamo ina manyi NPP politiko bondi molla kar dam fo kon o sen bo jambe soron dinga man ku ke ni NPP masa kundala ya soron tilimbal ya ni tawnte yaka al mola na ralo ke molla super cup final fenko bal fa ka sabal na ralo ke bal pour mum sabal en tol na famna al kana mol yabu dukare ni mboda sade kili ngal nga ñoo xoroma nga ñoo buña du kare alka ko dol ke yalon ne comme ikadin yala jaajo ko man jarala bara moro alto nya tamani mo la karadam for, we don't want to get involved with these politicians alka na mol yabu al nga ñoo xoroma du kare al nga mo la karadam fo tamani ni silo nin to nyala alka mo sabal na halake molla suko final bara pour mu. Is it that these NPP supporters have hijacked our football? Wato al nga dawo fanan to nga politiko keje ko mbal be bondi la jil nakara wala bije ama wala bondi molla final fen ko bal mol kana barami mbege pour molla ane fido fon la kayto fon di molla mala fe ko di molla ko wona halu temo e kana ka beso di alla ti molla al ko ta o fon adol fon sen bo jambe soron dim fon adol mo tono min o fon tola o fon la al ka molla ko fen ko ta al ka sabal nyol ke o bala foko pare wala kana ko vesi sun kan ni mol di al ko moda and woti mol ka di min wol man fu han vesi la han ko wal man fu kana tawni batol la mol mutale be ibol kelen dey be bayn la fu la mol kono ka foko wol man ke Gambia dingol ta dol mo kelo ga fadol ka NPP la besolta ko do bi yende fonga jakalam fonga sa tela ko la bar butong mota mo jalay la jam ka yalo mol fanan mira nyalta kilin no la, so we got to tolerate each other in the way we are bar ngalo nen do la timo de wol nyama may ko kada NPP la fenna du wala he nga wol ngolo be tasla tol faale kato min ko timo de wala muru wol ko kada mun la NPP la fenga ko wol da do ala man tangala wala operation wol ndeng nyafulen wol ndeng kado wol moro ala yalo ndol boras dulal min to ngala tentu wala ko wala wol bu ke boyla muldo ha tol tambola na useni nyol to danon tambola you know ini bara muso because ngalo ne manke mo falal alla man sakunda la lon juma lay police orfa ngal tento ngal jayal ma suto diala o